Well, you just took a breath like you were gonna start it. I was gonna start it, and then you took a breath, and so then I thought you were gonna start it, so I didn't start it.
I was just gasping at how phenomenal our world is.
Yeah. Yeah, do tell.
Well, are you gonna just jump? Oh, well, I guess I can't.
You mean? Oh, okay. You've got like a because of your.
I was gonna segue, but then I have to stop now because
nobody knows what this is or who we are or what the hell's happening. Hello and welcome to the Movie Men podcast.
To be team.
Every time you scream, here's the thing. I edit all the audio for this podcast, and there are definitely like your microphone etiquette sucks balls. I was just gonna say right now, like it sucks. There are times you scream, and the screaming isn't so bad. But I don't know if you ever listen back to the episodes that you're in.
Nope.
There are like the screaming I can fix relatively easily, but like without fail, your podcast audio per episode gets quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter as the episode goes on. Like by the end of the episode, I don't know if you're like you've done a 180 and you're not even facing your microphone anymore. Like I don't know what is happening.
Relaxed into my chair. I'm a little bit further away from my microphone or something.
But like you just become subdued. You're like, oh yeah. So
I start out strong, lots of energy, and it quickly dies off.
So sit the hell up. Be aware of where the microphone is in relation to you, and speak into it because you're pissing me off.
Sure thing.
My name's Brady.
Oh, you introduced yourself. Okay,
yeah,
I'm
sorry.
Carl.
Yeah. Okay, Carl. Is that better?
Yeah.
And it's another weekly news show. And as of recently, I don't know if that was grammatically correct, we've been starting our news shows off with Carl giving us some sort of insight into some sort of crazy technology or thing that's happening out there in the world. And so, unless Carl doesn't have anything prepared, I see no reason not to continue.
Let me jump back into my awkward segue that we had to interrupt. We live in a freaking amazing world. So much so that like there's a laundry list of things I can do. And last week I made you choose between two things, and this week there's just so many cool things that
the choice was fun.
Now there's three things that you need to choose one between.
All right.
Okay.
So the choices is man-made meat off the table now?
Yes.
Is it like once you choose? Okay.
Yeah. Unless it comes back up. So like one of these three items, I've seen 2 or 3 news articles for. So this is the most recent one that's come across my news feeds and emails, but it's referring to the same thing. So anyway, the three options are the ability to be a little bit more potentially like Spider-Man.
Okay.
The ability to potentially talk to animals, specifically a single animal type of animal.
Okay. So far we have the powers of Spider-Man and the powers of Dr. Dolittle.
Or the ability to regenerate, like Wolverine, specifically one body type part.
Okay, so we have Weapon X, we have Dr. Dolittle, and we have Spider-Man.
Like when I pose the questions like this, it makes it seem like these things are super fantastical, and when we dive into them, they're not as fantastical as I'm gonna make them seem. But they're still really freaking cool.
I'm still excited for us to both drink Coke on the show.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited to do Coke with you. So
you haven't seen it? I haven't seen it.
I have not.
That hard, honestly,
it was only supposed to come out like 2 days ago or yesterday or something. So I haven't been looking, but I have to go out today and I will look.
Maybe I'll run around and have a look on my way home today.
Okay, so I'm going to rule out the talking with animals thing because Well, because that's never as cool as what, like, because it's going to be so far from the Dr. Doolittle. It's going to be like, we're monitoring animals' brainwaves or whatever, and listening to their barks or whatever, and we think this is what they're asking for, and it's like, you're not actually having a conversation with the animal.
No, and I'll like give a really brief kind of glimpse at to what the other options not picked are for those that want to kind of Google it and have a look themselves, because they're still pretty cool.
The Spider-Man one is very tempting because I have said for a long time that I think, people are like, oh, if you could have any superhero superpowers, what would you? And I've always thought that my answer would be Spider-Man, because I think the crawling is super cool. The Peter Tingle is pretty cool.
The spider sense is so, like, if you dive into the spider sense, the spider sense is so, well, whatever you want to call it, like the actual spider sense is so,
it's so cool,
powerful and OP that people don't even realize. Like in the comics, he can use it to win poker games.
Yeah,
that's how crazy it is.
And he's super strong.
And he's super strong. Yeah.
Which is something they don't display enough, I feel like, or they don't make a big enough deal out of in the movie.
The MCU has done a pretty good job. Like when he's first introduced, Captain America drops like a semi truck on him, essentially.
Yeah, and he catches it. But if we're not talking Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, then being more like Spider-Man rules out, like, you still have to design your own web and web shooters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think, and because again, the Spider-Man one is only ever going to be technology based, right? Like there's not going to be, I guarantee you that your story is not going to be, we're going to mess with human genes so that you can stick to walls without any kind of gloves or something like that. So I think I'm going to go with a regenerative thing.
Nice.
Just because that seems to be the most like
I think
actual human changing kind of, messing with the way our bodies function. So I'm going to go with regenerative.
And this is the one that I've seen a couple articles for too. It's come across my.
All right. So hit me.
My feed a few times. Okay. So first we'll go over the other two real briefly. So, a non-peer reviewed paper is being published from the University of Tokyo. Some professor named Adrian David Chook has used AI to start to decipher what chickens can say or saying.
Okay, chickens. It's not even like I'm
thinking like a dog or a cat.
I'm thinking like
something
animals
people care about.
Yeah, animals that it would be helpful to communicate with. Like, why won't you use the litter box? Oh, okay, let's have a conversation about it. No, literally like chickens.
Fuck. Oh, you want more feed? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, please don't turn me into a nugget. Like, that's the extent of that conversation, I feel like. But okay, so I'm glad I did not choose that one.
I thought it was fun. Definitely wasn't my top choice, but I thought it could make for a fun conversation if we dove into it.
Well, okay.
The other one is...
It sounds like in about 5 years' time, you'll be able to have that conversation with a chicken, so just hold off.
You can ask the chicken which came first, the chicken or the egg.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So the other one is that where is this again? I think over in Asia somewhere. Again, I think China. They have they've been able to make a way to harvest spider silk, which isn't easy because spiders pose a lot of trouble. But they've essentially infused silkworms with they've essentially altered the genetics of a silkworm somehow so that they produce spider silk, which is 6 times stronger than Kevlar.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Seems like it would take a long time to harvest.
Well, spider silk is pretty monotonous to harvest. Or no, sorry, silk in general is pretty monotonous to harvest, like with silkworms and stuff. That's why it's
That's why
an
the
expensive
shit
commodity.
costs so much.
But it's like increasing the tensile, like spider silk is supposed to have this like super tensile strength and durability and usability. So like, yeah, they're making silkworms make spider silk instead of silkworm silk. It's pretty cool.
You know, like, okay, so this is something I've thought about before, and the fact that the last two stories here have been, because the chicken thing was like an Asia thing as well, right?
Yeah.
I frequently imagine that showing up in China, like that the rest of the world, China or Japan, that the rest of the world sort of has this perception of China or Japan, but in reality, China is just like, it is the real world equivalent to Wakanda, and you just and everyone's wrong because you show up there and they're like years and years and years advanced. They're like all flying around in spaceships and stuff like that. You just can't see it because of the projected illusion that just makes it look like bamboo rice and panda bears, right? Like,
sure,
but yeah.
All right. So the chosen topic, the headline of this article, which is the third or fourth I've read on this, Japanese company testing drug to regrow
There we go, Japan.
teeth in humans.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's actually cooler than like.
Is that not really cool?
It is cool because that's one of those things, like some people just have bad teeth genes, right? Like some people you can do everything right. You're flossing, you're brushing.
Where people just don't grow teeth very well, or they
or you lose your teeth. Like your teeth just suck and you lose your teeth. But yeah, ooh.
So
okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. Okay. So back in the early summer, late spring, these researchers were doing some tests with ferrets, and they were having some pretty decent success in having their teeth regrow, which apparently are pretty similar to the way humans grow teeth, or something like that, to that effect, which is why they were using ferrets. Anyway, this article says that they're going to be moving on to some human trials in the new year, at some point, July 2024, they'll be moving on to human clinical trials to see if it works. This drug works in humans too. The thing this article doesn't go into is that apparently that I read in one of the previous ones. Apparently, we as humans actually have a third row of teeth buds in our jaws somewhere. So like our baby teeth grow in and then they fall out, and our human teeth, our adult teeth buds kind of mature and grow the new set of adult teeth. But apparently there is a third set of buds that just don't activate because
they're vestigial.
For whatever reason. There's like a protein or something our body, here it is, pharmaceutical company, I'm going to butcher it. A pharmaceutical company in Japan says it has developed a new antibody drug that stops proteins in the mouth responsible for suppressing tooth growth, which would refer to this third row of buds. So, yeah, I don't think if you lose the third row, I haven't read anything that says you'd grow a fourth set of teeth, based on an article I read over the summer. I think we just have like a third potential growth of teeth if you needed it.
Right.
But pretty cool. A quote in the article, finally, our final goal is to offer advanced and scientifically driven clinical solution for the growth of teeth derived from our own tissue. So their ultimate goal is to kind of have that continual regrowth, I think. But from an earlier thing, I think that's like a little bit going to be a little harder to push for than just activating those already latent buds in your mouth. But
now,
it's pretty cool.
Is there anything about is the theory, the scientific theory that at one point in the human evolution,
None of the articles I read
grow them.
None of the articles I read dove into that evolutional theory. Like sharks continually regrow their teeth and continually lose their teeth.
Right. Because I'm thinking that like the theory would be like in that line of thinking, the theory would either be, okay, we used to be able to, and for some reason we don't anymore, or these third buds have only shown up in the last, like that it's the early stages of what would be future evolution. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Right. It's either a cycle in human whatever that we no longer have or have reached and can't get back to.
Yeah. Because we started taking care of ourselves, we stopped needing to grow a third set of teeth, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or none of these articles got into that. They just kind of were more like about the drug that's being tested and trying to make it the possibility of it.
Right.
But, pretty freaking cool. You could no longer have to worry about brushing your teeth. Just take a pill and grow new teeth.
I mean, public service announcement for those who need to be in close proximity to you. Please still brush your teeth. You dirty, dirty bastard. Okay. Well, all right. That's actually really cool.
Is that not freaking awesome?
Like, jeez. Okay. Yeah. All right.
The last article I read of that was like back at the beginning of August, and I was like, oh man, by the time I'm back on the podcast in September, this article is going to be old, and there'll be other interesting things to talk about that are more recent. So I'm glad it came back up that they were with this announcement that they're doing human trials, and we could talk about it because it's so cool. Next thing you know, we'll be regrowing limbs or turning into lizards.
Well, the regrowing limbs and stuff, isn't that like that's like some of the stem cell stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't know where that's at, but yeah. We could turn into lizards alternatively, though. So, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, well... You know. All right, let's get into our actual news topics for today.
Our movie news.
Maybe not one of my... I was going to say one of my favorite actors, but an actor that I'm always excited to see show up in something, an actor that I love to not imitate. I love to intimidate this man. No, I love to imitate.
He probably does not he's probably not intimidated by you at all.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't give two shits.
Doesn't give a crap.
Is Michael Caine?
Yeah, he's probably like, who the bloody hell is this?
Michael Caine played Ebenezer Scrooge in the greatest iteration of A Christmas Carol ever made, which is The Muppets Christmas Carol. He was Austin Powers' father.
Yep.
He played Alfred in what is many people's favorite iteration of Batman. He's not my favorite Alfred or my favorite Batman iteration, but that's still a hell of a role. And he's played many other characters over his career.
Who is your favorite Alfred? We all know your favorite Batman, but I like when you start talking about somebody who's not Batman that's been portrayed on the screen. Like, I don't think I know. Like, I would assume it's what's his name from the same movie that Michael Keaton's in.
Michael Gow.
But that assumption is based purely on the fact that you like Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Michael Gow's Alfred because I like thinking that I like the idea that Alfred is older and looks like gives off the impression that he's probably not able to do much because of his age.
Yeah.
But but that's not at all the case, and he's actually very useful and quirky and whatever.
Right.
So I mean, okay, this wasn't in the plan, but let's run through them real quick. So we have starting, and we'll start like way back at the beginning, and we'll move forward. I'm discount William Austin from 1943. I'm discounting because I don't think that's anyone's favorite Alfred. Same with Eric Wilton from 1949. Okay, so we'll just get those off the table. Alan Napier from 1966, the Adam West Batman. Nah. Right? I mean, like, he's great and whatever, but he's as campy as the rest of that Batman was, and so I don't really know that, that counts. Then we have Michael Gough, who was the Michael Keaton, Tim Burton, and Joel Schumacher Alfred. And I think he's great. I really, really like him. I think when I picture Alfred in my head, that's kind of what I picture. Obviously, we have Michael Caine. We have Jeremy Irons, who I think Jeremy Irons has there's a fun dynamic between him and Ben Affleck's Batman, but ultimately Jeremy Irons just doesn't scream Alfred to me, and I don't know, I can't really put a finger on it. He's just, I think he seems too young and like able-bodied for Alfred, for me, for some reason. And I don't know why. Then there's Andy Serkis from the Robert Pattinson one. I think Andy Serkis did great. I don't think I've seen enough of him yet to be able to say he's my favorite. And then if you want to get real technical, Douglas Hodge played Alfred in the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. But I mean, you see even less of him.
I just Googled actors who played Pennyworth, and so Andy Serkis came up. I was like, what? And then I read underneath the Batman. I was like, oh, right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So
I completely forgot he had played.
My answer for this is, I think, going to surprise you and a lot of people. My favorite Alfred is not any of those Alfreds.
Okay.
My favorite Alfred, even though he's young and able-bodied and it doesn't quite fit into
you're gonna say the guy I want to say.
It doesn't quite fit into, like, it contradicts what I said about Jeremy Irons, but because of when this Alfred's iteration takes place, it makes sense that he's young and able-bodied, and by the time we catch up to Batman, he would be older. I really, 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 really think that Sean Pertwee from the Gotham series
I was going to say the same
was
thing.
a standout in that series. And they really delved into Alfred's militaristic background and just something about getting to really see Alfred in the time when he's raising Bruce and struggling to raise Bruce, struggling to be the parent that he was never meant or supposed to be to Bruce.
Yeah.
Really,
not just a parent, but a guardian and a butler and
the butler and everything else.
All those dynamics, probably because they had more time because it was a TV show. We're able to
Sure.
All the other ones. He seems more of a butler than a potential father figure. But yeah, Sean's portrayal is like, yes, that feels like how
Alfred should be.
Alfred reads in the comics.
Yeah. And the dynamic of being a parent, being a guardian who technically is an employee,
the consummate professional and gentleman.
Yeah, but he's an employee. The dynamic of being an employee, being fireable, by the kid that you're the parent of, right? Like it's so. Anyways, all that aside, Michael Caine is alive and kicking. This isn't one of those rest in peace Michael Caine things. But it may be a rest in peace Michael Caine on the screen kind of things. As he's come out now and has said, hey, you know what? I'm kind of basically sort of pretty much retired. Like I'm not going to do this anymore. He says, I'm bloody 90 now.
Yeah.
And I can't walk properly and all that. He says, I'm sort of retired now. And so he goes on to talk about how grateful he was for his career and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. And, it's one of those things where he's retiring because he doesn't really have a choice, right? I'm sure he'd love to keep doing things, but also he's like, I'm just reading the hand. I'm reading the cards. I'm aware of the cards I'm holding.
I'm looking at pictures here just to kind of see how he's aging. He looks pretty good for 90, but there's a couple pictures here where he's like on a red carpet, and you can't tell because it's like above the waist, like above the belly button kind of shot. But he's very obviously sitting down because he's holding a cane, and the cane is up in his chest.
Yeah, he's
like
an old guy.
He's sitting down on a red carpet. Oh, there's a better shot. He's in the chair. Yeah, he's sitting down on a chair at a red carpet event.
Other
on the red
actors
carpet.
Other actors that have had to do this are people like, more recently, Bruce Willis. Right? Bruce Willis retired because he actually can't act anymore.
Yeah, his mental faculties aren't there anymore.
Jack Nicholson. Right? Everyone's like, well, how come we don't see Jack Nicholson anymore? Something that a lot of people don't know is that towards the end of Jack Nicholson's acting career, he was experiencing severe memory loss. Like, he simply just couldn't memorize a script anymore. He couldn't remember his lines. And so he's been living kind of a quiet, private life in his later years. But yeah, so here's the thing. It's sad. It is sad that we're losing Michael Caine as an actor. But also, it's one of those situations where, much like if the actor had died, we can just commemorate, remember his career, and the fact that the man is 90 and his last, like his most recent acting credit was from last year, and he's got 2 more in the pipeline that are set to come out. Right? So like it's not like he could have been having this conversation 20 years ago at 70. At 70 he could have been like, guys, I'm 70 now.
Yeah.
Like, I've been acting all my life, and I'm ready to not do that anymore. I'm ready to... Yeah, like, his first acting credit is from 1946. 1946. Which is insane.
I wasn't alive. I mean, obviously.
No shit.
I'm not 90.
But 1946.
Yeah. It's a long career. And like...
Oh, it's a crazy career.
You think about it, the average person that has got a good career usually plans to retire in their 60s and not go back to work. They might do an odd job, side job here or there, but not go back to like their full-time career. Like, he's 90, so he's been doing it for 25 to 30 years longer than he needs, that his career longer than he needs. Like, so like, not that acting can be hard physically on the body, but man, you still gotta get up every day and go to work and put in your hours. And
the man was 5 years past his retirement age when he started playing Alfred.
Yeah.
Right? So like, I don't know. It's sad. But also, the man has been acting for the last 70 some odd years.
You know, I never thought about it.
Years.
Yeah, I never thought about it till right now, though. But it's kind of a prime role for an actor. Like, how many actors, an old person, like, if a script calls for an elderly gentleman, how many elderly gentlemen actors are there out there that you could be like, that's the guy we need?
Well, we need not only
Michael Caine.
Yeah,
we
and
need
not
a
only
Michael Caine style actor to fill this role.
Yeah, not only is he old and able to act, but is an incredible. Like, how many old actors are Michael Caine tiered?
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can almost ask for whatever you want. What are you going to do? Go hire Tom Cruise? Even though he's old, doesn't look that old.
How old is...
do the reverse of de-aging and overage them?
I mean, you've got Sir Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right?
Yeah.
He's 84. 84.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. 84, and we're projecting that we'll likely see him at least pop up briefly in Deadpool 3.
Yeah. So
that's nuts.
Yeah. And like, I'm not saying that there's no old actors, because obviously we just listed a bunch, but like, the older you get, the smaller that list becomes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, time doesn't have mercy on anybody.
These people are amazing, right? Because I think about myself, what I'll be like when I'm 80, right?
Yeah.
And the energy that I'll have and what I'll be able to do and stuff like that. And it's not a lot. Like, it's not, I don't project myself to be a super adventurous 80-year-old if I make it to 80, right? But at 75 years old, Sir Ian McKellen was playing Gandalf in the Battle of the Five Armies. Like, that is the people who are doing these roles, the things are, it's astounding, absolutely astounding. So anyways, yes, it looks like Michael Caine is hanging up the cane, and is just gonna kind of enjoy his last couple of years, because, and that's the thing, right? He's 90.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't have a lot of time left.
Well, you got that miracle Hollywood juice running in your veins. You could have another 10, 15.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, he'll be able to regrow his own teeth.
Yeah,
and so there's
keep
something,
food. Yeah,
something there. Okay, moving on. The first teaser trailer has dropped for the upcoming Disney Plus series Percy Jackson and the Olympians. You've seen the Percy Jackson movies?
Yeah, they only made the 2, right?
Yeah, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and then or the Lightning Thief was this.
No, Lightning Thief was the first one.
Okay, and then
the second one was something about
Sea of Monsters or something.
Yes, that sounds right. Sure.
Yeah, something about monsters. Listen, I watched the trailer, and I don't understand Disney's relentlessness to try to turn this franchise into something.
Well, apparently the books are really good. So,
apparently they're amazing.
If you got the license for it, you've got an audience that'll watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you like the 2 movies? Did you watch both of them?
I thought the first one was fun. And then after that, the second one I thought was a decline for sure. And yeah. I wouldn't say the first one's amazing, but I think it's good for being, in an era where it was not a pre-established film franchise. It was sort of the first in a franchise based off a book, but like, you know, that was pretty CGI heavy and stuff like that. I thought it was good. But it kind of seems like when I was watching this trailer for the show, it just kind of felt like, I'm like, okay, you know what? It seems kind of interesting, but also it seems tacky and childish. Like, it seems like the acting, the dialogue seems clunky. It doesn't seem like there's any real stakes. It seems like the approach to this, the standards, the bar that they set in terms of, okay, what does this series need to be? It seems like somewhere in that process, they're like, okay, well, we're making this mostly for children, so the bar doesn't need to be very high. We don't need big standards here. It kind of just looks underwhelming, right? When this was something that was announced, I was like, oh, okay, cool. This could be something, you know, they're going to breathe a new life into it. I think it's a fun concept. The idea of, you know, that all that Greek mythology stuff is actually real and they're walking among us still. And I think that idea resonates with me. That's something that is right up my alley in terms of, it's something I'd be interested in. Yeah. But this, I don't know, this, at least from this teaser trailer, maybe it's just a shitty teaser trailer for what's going to be an excellent show, but this teaser trailer made me think, oh, you're not ready to let it go, but you're also not really you're not willing to do something big with it. So this is the series that you're sending this IP to die. Carl, you saw the trailer. What are your thoughts? Does this pique your interest at all? Is it a show that you know, that maybe you'll watch with the kids? Because it looks like it's probably going to be mostly kid appropriate.
Hang on. You're attributing a movie series being sent to a streaming service as an early grave? What does that say for Star Wars?
When the series looks like this. When the series looks and feels like this.
Okay.
Right? Like, it looks like they're just like, let's stick it on Disney Plus and throw a minimal budget at it, and we'll have my, 12-year-old niece write it. Is kind of how it feels.
Okay. Oh, my 2 cents, I guess. So I watched both the other ones. I enjoyed, like, I didn't think they were amazing cinematic masterpieces, but they were really, like you said, like, they were fun. The second one, I think I enjoyed it on an equal level to the first one. I think they kind of stood the ground that the first one laid down, and it didn't falter, but it didn't rise above either by any means. I really like that. Yeah, the whole concept of mythology being real and living about amongst us present day, and what that looks like, and things like from the first Percy Jackson film when the Fates, the 3 Fate sisters, are like, they're taxi drivers and they're sharing the eye as they're driving around, and that, I thought that was pretty. I think those were the Fates. Anyway, yeah, like that's kind of really fun and quirky, and I enjoyed how they presented and portrayed all that in the first 2 films. This, I felt like the majority of this trailer definitely didn't seem. Yeah, I would agree. It doesn't seem like it's on the same level cinematically as the movie, and that's probably because it's got a lower budget. But what really hits home about that is, even though I haven't seen Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief in a long time, it seemed like they recreated a number of shots, shot for shot almost. Like, I feel like when he's looking at the pen and it's shaking in his hand, I feel like that's directly from, that was something that was in the film. When he's looking at I know that when he's looking at his paper and the letters get all googly, like he's got dyslexia or something, that is from the film, which, I mean, all this is probably from the source material.
From the book. Yeah.
Which makes some sense that it's recreated almost shot for shot. But because seems like it's shot for shot, it's kind of like you're immediately directly comparing.
Right.
Which I've said it before, like when you
could hurt it.
Yeah, whenever they do reboots, you're instead of kind of taking that trope and going in a new direction with it and trying something different and bold, if you take the name and try and recreate, then you're going to be held to the standard of that original, especially if that standard is high. So
right.
Even though Lightning Thief isn't like a cinematic masterpiece, based on this trailer, it seems like it's definitely better. And I can't not compare it to Lightning Thief, because Lightning Thief even though I didn't think it was a horrible film, was still a lot of fun. And this trailer does not look as good as Lightning Thief. That all being said, my eldest niece is a huge fan of Percy Jackson. I assume she still is. Back when she would 5-10 years ago, when she first read read
the books. Yeah, okay.
Well, I would say 5-6 years ago when she first read the books, because she's 13 or 14 now. Like, when she first read the books, she loved them. She thought it was amazing. And she watched the film with her parents, and she thought the film was horrible because it didn't stand up to the source material very well.
Which is common, I think, for people who have read the book first.
Yeah. Well,
for any series.
Some things do it better than others. A good example would be Netflix just released the series One Piece, which is adapted from an anime, which has got 400 plus episodes right now, which is adapted from a manga. And usually adaptations from manga to anime are very faithful and people don't have an issue with them. But it's when it's only in the last 5 or 10 years that people have started adapting animes to live action films. And most of them have fallen flat on their face. Some a lot harder than others. Not many have had any kind of success. But this One Piece show did an excellent job and has got very few people griping about it. And even those that are griping, their gripes are minor and they still enjoy it.
Right.
And I would attribute this, and I think almost everyone does, to the fact that the manga writer, the person who writes the original source material, the manga, was brought in on the production and had final say. Right? So it was adapted. For this six or 8 part series, they had to cut stuff. Right? You can't do a 20 episode season in 8 episodes. You just can't.
Right. So
they had to cut stuff. But because the original author of the material is there saying, don't cut this, but then to bring it back and make it still, make the character still an important thing for the character, we'll do work around it this way. You know what I mean? So bringing in, if which just kind of makes me go anytime you're doing a film or a show based off a book, you got to bring that source material in, that source, the original thought behind it in, right? Which is probably, again, now I'm thinking about it, Harry Potter's success is probably attributed to the fact that J.K. Rowling was very involved in those films.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, I don't know how involved the author of the Percy Jackson series is in this film. It's Disney, so I'm going to guess not at all. Because Disney will do what they want, Walt Disney is dead, so he can't have the standards that he did with what show was that movie with the umbrella lady,
Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins, yeah, wasn't it? What, like they did a movie about that where Walt Disney's talking to the author and saying,
saving Mr. Banks.
Yeah, saying he'll do it justice. Like, studios don't do that anymore for the most part. It's kind of sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so, well, there you have it. It ultimately, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it shapes out. The first ones weren't a critical success, obviously. They weren't a financial success, hence they stopped making them. So it's an interesting move, but we'll just kind of have to see what the plan is. Speaking of television shows that are coming out, it is now official that we are getting a reboot with the original showrunner for The Office. Specifically, like the American series of The Office. I'm gonna tell you flat out right now. I have never seen an episode of The Office.
What? No.
And despite everyone reacting the way you just reacted, I really I've watched clips. I'm not completely in the dark about The Office. I've seen clips.
My dude.
But I've never watched The Office, and from the clips I've watched, I don't know that I want to or really care. And a lot of it comes, and I think a lot of it comes down to The Office is from an era that I don't enjoy. And that era is when we moved away from multicam sitcoms, right? With the fourth wall and the several familiar sets.
Actual stage performance sitcoms.
Yeah. Live audience, whatever, multicam sitcoms. And then we moved into this era of handheld sitcoms, handheld cameras. And it almost sometimes intentionally, the camera movements were not shaky, but moved around a lot to kind of make it feel like it was either documentary style or someone holding a camcorder capturing what was happening type of thing.
Right.
I'm pretty sure is it either Parks and Rec or Arrested Development? Maybe one of them is the same way. Maybe they're both the same way. I don't know. Those are also shows I've never watched. And it just doesn't interest me. It just, for whatever reason, it's a departure from a format that I love, which is the multicam sitcom. And so it just, for me, it's an immediate uphill. It would have to really stand out to me for some reason for me, or to have someone in it, cast in it, that I really love and had to see.
All that being said, thinking of would have been Parks and Rec. Arrested Development
Parks and Rec?
is a more traditional sitcom. Not with the fourth wall like Friends.
Not multicam.
But
so it's still single cam.
More traditional.
Yeah. All that being said, I recognize and understand the pop culture juggernaut that was The Office. Again, specifically the American version of The Office, with your John Krasinski's and your Steve Carell's and whoever else. So this doesn't interest me. It doesn't interest me in the slightest because why would I get excited about a reboot of a show that I've never watched? However, it does seem like there's going to be a lot of people who are very excited for this. Cool. We don't have any official word yet on who is and is not returning. However, many actors from the show, John Krasinski, Jenna Fisher, Angela Kinsey, Leslie David Baker, and Creed Bratton, have in the past all expressed interest in returning if there was ever an opportunity to return. So, does that mean they're going to be given the opportunity? We don't know, right? The showrunner may be like, you know what? We're going to trim the fat. It's not going to be just the same way that it was before. It's in a new office or whatever, or it's going to be following. It's more of a spinoff. Who knows? But it seems like that list of people are kind of interested. A name that doesn't appear on this list is Steve Carell. And I'm wondering if you can do, again, having not seen the show, so maybe the answer is yes, obviously, you totally could. I'm wondering, can you really do a reboot of The Office without Steve Carell? Like, my understanding is he's everyone's favorite character to hate. And so I don't know. Either way, it doesn't interest me. Carl, it sounds like you have watched The Office and are a fan of The Office. Does a reboot of The Office interest you? And who do you think, like, if you could only secure 3 actors or 3 characters that had to return, right? Maybe more will return, but you can only lock in 3 for sure that are crucial to making a reboot succeed. Who are those 3?
Yeah, my mic is being... There we go. I got it. Okay. First, man, you got to give The Office a try. Like, you understand that, like, it's like a mockumentary, like it looks like a documentary because they're pretending it's a documentary, right? You get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't interest me.
Oh man, you should give it like 3 to 5 episodes at least. Just the first 3 or 5. It's so good. Oh man, I can't believe you've never seen it. Yeah, I really liked it. I've seen all of it. I've also seen all of Parks and Rec too. That sounds like they're kind of doing like a reboot present day kind of thing by this article, like dealing with, I'm not going to read through the article again, but there was like a mention of like papers becoming less and less predominant. Oh, it's right at the beginning. Yeah, we're comedy gold. Yeah. So I don't know. Is there something there? Maybe. We'll see. If I had to bring 3 back, man, it'd be tough to get like John Krasinski or like the big actors that really made a break. Man. I think the question is more like who could you get back more than
right.
Would you like?
Well, John Krasinski's voiced interest.
Yeah, but he's not going to come back as a mainstay. Like, his career has moved. That'd be a step down from what he's doing and what he's got on the
For
books.
Sure. Yeah,
right?
it would just suck up too much time. I could see him
coming back as for like a bit part here and there, right? Like cameo appearances. Same with Steve Carell, but they're beyond that point in their career now,
right?
I think everyone else you could probably anyone else you could probably get back as a full-time cast member, I think
you could get Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight. I think you could get him easily.
Everyone else for the most part, all the like main cast, all the rest of them I would say haven't progressed their careers enough that having a solid TV appearance week to week wouldn't hurt their career, but would continue to help it.
But do you get Pam back without getting Jim back?
Like, not unless somehow they break up, which I think would have hurt the show more than it would help it.
Yeah.
Right. Because the first one ended with them being married and having kids, and like, I don't think you break that up.
Yeah.
Plot wise, story wise,
you're not
to
gonna
bring
get
back the actor.
Wow. Oh, so we're missing another.
I think you bring in like Rainn Wilson as Dwight, trying to keep the thing afloat, kind of thing. Like Michael Scott is retired or moved on, and everyone else is kind of like moved on. But Dwight and a few others are like trying to keep this paper salesman ship afloat.
So you listed Steve Carell and John Krasinski as the two actors you couldn't get back. I think there's a third.
Really? Who?
You're not going to get Ed Helms.
I don't know.
Oh, come on. He went on and he did the Hangover movies. He did the National Lampoon's Vacation thing reboot.
Miller's.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think you'd get him back.
But yeah, I suppose he'd be a hard sell, I suppose. I think there's a potential you could get him back over the other two, though.
Oh, yeah, out of the three, I think he's the more likely for sure. Although here's the thing, though.
As a full-time role, I don't think you get Steve Carell or John Krasinski unless you're giving them a buttload of money.
But I think you get Steve Carell before you get John Krasinski. I think John Krasinski is the least likely on that list.
Really? You think you could get Steve Carell? You think you're good enough to get Steve Carell?
I mean, what is Steve Carell really doing right now? He does the Despicable Me spinoff still. When's the last time he had like a truly big, like, you know, he's not a super hot name.
He's done lots though, like Anchorman.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. He's done.
But Anchorman, the last Anchorman movie was 10 years ago.
Where is it? This isn't an order of date, is it? Oh, it is. Wow.
Right?
Oh, no, it's not. It's not an order of date. I'm looking at this to Google search, and it's not an order of date.
No, man. IMDb, what are you doing with your life?
I'm not an IMDb.
IMDb.
I'm going to IMDb.
But you know what I mean? Like immediately following or in around the time of The Office. Yeah, he had Bewitched. He had Bewitched, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Evan Almighty, Get Smart, Date Night, Dinner for Schmucks, Crazy Stupid Love. But even Crazy Stupid Love was 12 years ago. Right? So I don't know that, and all of those were taking place,
I suppose,
during the time of The Office. Since The Office, he's done.
He hasn't done a sequel. He has done a
sitcom
since then with Space Force in 2020, 2022.
Yeah. And how successful was that?
I mean, it wasn't great, but like I'm more the fact that he's willing to commit to a show. The Space Force shows that he's willing to commit to a show.
I think you'd be surprised how many actors are willing to commit to a steady paycheck to guaranteed work for, at least a year.
I would say like John Krasinski has done that with the Amazon, what is it called? The NSA show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. But yeah, John Krasinski, I mean, obviously he's got, like, he's not just he's not just wearing an actor hat anymore. Right? Like
Jack Ryan. That's what it was.
Yeah, he did the Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. Yeah. Right? And he played Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. I would like, even though that's a TV show, that's a big role. I'd say that's a step up, like sitcom Jack Ryan. Like Jack Ryan is a big role for somebody to play.
Oh yeah, and then on
top of that,
he did his Quiet Place stuff.
On top of all of this conversation, even if these people like these two individuals can commit to doing another Office series, and they can still do movies. They could still hold down the
in between seasons
show and direct and be part of a movie, be the lead in a movie somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, he voiced Superman in the Super Pets movie.
Yeah, he did. That's awesome.
He's Superman. He's Superman and Reed Richards.
He's Superman.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right, moving on. A little while back, there was and I say a little while back, it's probably a year or so ago now, Martin Scorsese, the OG, the gangster of Hollywood movie making, mostly because he does a lot of gangster films. And it's one of those guys, he's got his crew that he works with, right? Your Joe Pesci's, your Robert De Niro's, your Marlon Brando's, your the other guy that I'm gapping the name of right now. But yeah, Martin Scorsese's directing kind of catalog is stuff like The Irishman and The Wolf of Wall Street and American Masters and Shutter Island. So he likes working with Leonardo DiCaprio as well, because they did The Aviator. But he's got he did Goodfellas, obviously, Goodfellas. He's got sort of his crew that he likes working with. He did Taxi Driver, but he's also got that genre, right? He likes old school movie making about old school stories and movies that you'd see come out in the 70s and 80s. That's his MO. And about a year ago, he came out and just laid waste verbally to, at the time, I think specifically the MCU, but it kind of also branched out into comic book films in general.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
And to sort of sum it up, he just basically said, well, movies like that aren't cinema. They're not cinema, right? They're movies, sure, great. But it's not true cinema. And he took a lot of hate for that. There was a couple other people in Hollywood who kind of jumped on his idiot bandwagon and was like, oh, yeah, sure. But is that just agreeing with Marty Scorsese, or is that actually your opinion? But a lot of people, he faced some backlash, right? Because a lot of people are like, screw you, pal. Biggest franchise, biggest genre in the absolute world right now. You're just pissy that nobody's asked you to come direct one. I don't know. And maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe there isn't. Who knows? I don't think he would ever want to. That's not his type of thing. But it is what it is. He came out, he said a bunch of things, pissed some people off, and time passes and you kind of forget about it. Well, apparently Martin Scorsese is aware that people have sort of forgotten about those comments.
Doubling down.
Because he's doubling down. He's doubling down. He said the danger there is in what's going on in our culture is because there are going to be generations now that think movies are only those. That's what movies are. He's referring to comic book films. And then someone asks, he says, do you think it's possible that some audiences already believe that? He says they already think that, which means that we have to fight back even stronger. And it's got to come from the grassroots level. It's got to come from filmmakers themselves. And you'll have, the Safdie brothers, and you'll have Christopher Nolan. You know what I mean? And hit them from all sides. Hit them from all sides and don't give up. Let's see what you got. Go out there and do it. Go reinvent. Don't complain about it, but it's true, because we've got to save cinema. He says, I do think that the manufactured content isn't really cinema, he said. It's almost like AI making a film. And that doesn't mean that you don't have incredible directors and special effects people doing beautiful artwork. But what does it mean? What do these films, what will it give you? What? He's old. He doesn't know how to talk. Aside from a kind of consumption of something and then eliminating it from your mind, your whole body, So what does it give you? So, I'm going to say right now Martin Scorsese needs to shut the hell up. He needs to shut the hell up. And not just because I disagree with him. Not because I disagree with him. Even if I was against comic book films and I didn't think that they made very good movies or, but whatever. Shut up. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We have to fight back from the grassroots level, treating comic book films like they are a cancer within the industry. What are you talking about? Shut the hell up. Because here's the thing. I read further into this interview and the things that he was saying, stuff that's not listed in this article. And yeah, basically he was saying like, there will be, basically his position is that if things continue the way that they're continuing and the surplus of comic book films are coming out and they're the biggest films and doing all the box office and whatever, then we will reach a point in time where if those are the only films that existed, then there would be a whole large group of people who wouldn't want to go to the theater. And he's right. He is right. If comic book films were the only films that came out, then there'd be a lot of people who didn't want to go to the theater. On the flip side of that, if Martin Scorsese's style, flavor, vein of cinema were the only cinema films that were available and existed, there would be a lot of people who wouldn't want to go to this. Like, it's so, like, the point that he's arguing is so backwards because he's kind of approaching this argument like he doesn't think there's enough room in this town for the two of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's kind of like, well, it's either them or us, and we're better, and we're actually film, and it should be done the way it was done. We got to get back to the grassroots. We shouldn't even be shooting digital. We should be shooting with film. Right? And we should be driving our Ford Model 1s to the set.
We should be drawing little horses on paper and putting them in a carousel with a candle and spinning them so that people can see the horse walk.
Yeah. If I'm at the hotel and the car shows up to take me to set and we don't have to get out front and hand crank it first and I say no and I wait for the next. Like, just it's so stupid and it's so asinine and it's so backwards. And really such an Martin Scorsese is one of the iconic, like, his face would belong on the Mount Rushmore of Hollywood directors. Sure. Right? It's a big deal. The new Martin Scorsese film. Great. But to have someone that big come out and make these comments is such a slap in the face to the artists and hardworking individuals that work on these big films. Right? And also, it's worth noting that Martin Scorsese, the guy who does not like comic book films, the guy that wants nothing to do with comic book films, almost made a comic book film. Do you know this?
I was wondering. I didn't know.
So, Sir Marty Scorsese.
Don't give him. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't lessen the title of Sir by giving it to someone who hasn't earned it or can get it. Sorry.
Was set to. He wasn't going to direct. But he was set originally, I don't know what happened, I don't know what stick ended up his ass, but he was originally one of the co-producers of Todd Phillips' Joker movie. Now, I mean, of all the comic book films that have come out, Joker is the most Martin Scorsese comic book film.
That's it's based on a comic book character, but it would be a stretch to call it a comic book film. In the style that, like, what
is a comic book film if not a film based on a comic book character?
It's so that would be but I don't think that's what he's attributing to a comic book film. He's like the Marvel films and pretty much every Batman film made, like, those are far different style of film from what the Joker was.
Right, but one of the names that, so you want to talk about Batman films, he's all for Christopher Nolan. He believes Christopher Nolan is a true artist.
That did catch me. I agree. Like, his little rant there with mentioning Christopher Nolan makes me go, hang on a minute, because, like, I would lump those in with, like, same kind of vein as the Marvel film. So, like, in my mind, a quote unquote superhero film would be very fast paced, lots of action, very little kind of downtime. Downtime's a weird way to put it, but, like, it doesn't run itself. The if it's a 2-hour film, the 2-hour film doesn't move like a marathon. It moves like a sprint or a shorter run. You know what I mean? Like, it moves. Yep. The pace moves quickly, right? Joker doesn't really do that.
No. And so neither do, like, Scorsese's films, like The Irishman was 3.5 hours for some ungodly reason.
Yeah. And throughout that, it's going to, like, linger, and the pacing is going to be kind of more methodical and thought out and slower and in those kind of different areas of the film, even though it'll have its, like, the newest film he's got coming out, something Wildflower, Killers of the Flower. Killers of the Flower Moon, right? Like, you watch the trailer for this, it's got some pretty sweet looking action scenes in it, some shootouts and fight scenes, and, like, it looks like it'll have some really fun action moments. Yeah. Then it's also got a lot of drama and slow pacing as well, obviously, from the trailer. And I would, if a quote unquote action film has that, they're very short segments of the film.
Sure.
They get drowned out by action and comedy and whatever else. You know what I mean? So
except the pacing in The Irishman was horrible. The film was 45 minutes too long.
I haven't seen it. But to kind of to pin his point when he's talking about comic book films, I think he's referring to, like, the way they're made and not the content they're made from.
Sure. But it's still, I don't know. Either way, his comments to me just read as a bitter old man who just likes to make films the way that he was making films when he started, right? He started his first like full-length actual proper film came out in 1966. Right. And that's how he likes to make movies. And that's great. That's fine. You don't have to adapt. You don't have to start making films like everybody else. But you know what? Just about every other director in Hollywood, you know what they do? They make the movies that they make, and they don't worry about what anyone else is making. Just make your own movies. Make your own movies and shut the hell up.
Yeah, I don't think he's, like, he can say this. I don't it doesn't bother me that he says this. I don't fully agree with his sentiment. I do a little bit. I think the pacing in Marvel Marvel and superhero movies, comic book movies, should slow down a bit. But but at the same time, they're great. They're great. It's great cinema, right? Especially for as generations move on, thanks to technology, our attention spans are so short.
Mm-hmm.
They get shorter and shorter, right? Like when you guys, man, I highly doubt it will. When did it come out? Hang on. I gotta do a quick Google search on something.
Well, what are you looking for? Because maybe I already know.
No, you won't know.
Okay.
I guarantee you won't know. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
When I say you guys, I'm talking about you and our other cohort who is never
Pete?
on this episode.
Yeah.
When you get to 1979 in your rundown, are you going that far back?
I don't know. We don't know. There's some heated debate.
All right.
It's not heated. It's
If you
just
get
some
to
discussion.
79, if Mad Max is not a contender, I will lose my crap.
Oh, I'm sure if we get to 79, Mad Max will for sure be a contender. I just don't know.
I don't think it'll win. I don't think it'll win. But it's like, have you ever watched it?
Not all the way through.
So, yeah, it's hard to get through because there's a lot of driving scenes that don't, like, there's at least 15 to 20 minutes of a car just driving across the country. A lot of what would be considered B-roll now.
Yeah.
Right? And like, you consider the pacing of that film to the pacing of a comic book film, that like pacing of films back then is completely different. And that's where Scorsese's coming from.
Yeah.
So I don't completely disagree. I think the pacing of films should slow down some. They don't need to be so breakneck fast paced. Like an action film should have some more drama thrown into it to kind of make it more appealing story as a whole.
Sure.
But actually talking about it here, I'm just kind of trying to think of like a comic book film that may have done this well. Iron Man 3, I think, did this well. Iron Man 3 paced
that's a movie a lot of
well.
people don't like.
Exactly. And I think that's probably why. Because it paced itself well. It like lingered on those dramatic moments of Iron Man struggling and not having his suit and trying to figure out what he's going to do with his life. And yeah, so I think we need more of that. I think if that's where he's coming from, I agree with him. I don't disagree that what's happening now is garbage and needs to be stopped and at all costs. I don't think it's ruining the world, but
right.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
That's my 2
All right,
cents.
Moving on to our final topic. Sticking with the MCU and comic book films, you and I have talked at great lengths about how one of the issues, not the only issue by a long shot, one of the real issues right now, though, with the MCU is that it doesn't really have, not just that there's no one leading the Avengers, and we don't even know really what the Avengers look like, but both figureheads of the MCU departed from the MCU in Endgame. Yeah. Those figureheads being Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark and Chris Evans' Steve Rogers. And there really hasn't been, like, there's been speculation about, like, well, I get, technically it makes sense that Captain Marvel would maybe be the next leader, but, like, we don't really know. And, like, I guess Thor's kind of one of the remaining OGs, so is Thor kind of the head of the MCU now? We don't really know. And it's just, like, honestly, at this point, the closest thing we have to a leader of the MCU is Wong, right? Like it's the Wong universe now, because he's popping up everywhere. He's a part of everything. Wong is the new.
He's
Nick
the only
Fury.
connecting tissue. He's the new Infinity Stone. He's the only thing connecting everything together.
But yeah, it's been suffering because we lost both of our figureheads.
The last chunk of Marvel MCU was known as the Infinity Saga. This will forever go down as the Wong Saga.
The Wong Saga.
It's the wrong saga. It's the Wong Saga. Pun intended.
Anyways, recently, Chris Evans was asked about the potential of ever returning to the MCU as Captain America, and this is what Chris Evans had to say. Yeah, maybe. I'll never say never, just because it was such a wonderful experience. I'm also very precious with it. It's something that I'm very proud of, and like I said, sometimes I can't believe it even happened. And I wouldn't want the black eye if it ever felt like a cash grab or didn't live up to the expectations, or if it just felt like it wasn't connected to the original thing. So no time soon, and ultimately, I really hope to just maybe act a little bit less in my life. I have a lot of other interests. Look, by no means have I climbed any sort of mountain in this field. I have no Oscars. I'm not lumped in with any other names that are at the top of the mountain in any way. But I also feel very satisfied. So, what does this mean? Well, it means he'd consider it. But I think there's a really, really important thing in here where he says, this sentence, he says, I wouldn't want the black eye if it just felt like a cash grab. I don't think even the MCU films that kind of suck, the MCU has never felt cash grabby to me, right? There's always a plan, there's always a story, it's just not always executed very well, right? So I don't think there's a risk of that. Or if it didn't live up to expectations, but this is the big one. Or if it just felt like it wasn't connected to the original thing. And to me, what that says is Chris Evans is not willing to come back and play a Captain America variant. He's not willing to come back and play Captain America from a different universe. I think what he's saying is, if I were to return, we'd have to use some sort of sorcerer magic or some sort of time travel or, whatever it was. But if I'm coming back because it's so precious and I'm so proud of this and I'm proud of that character, I would want to play that character. I would want to play the 616 Steve Rogers, and that's one of my conditions. I'm not going to play a slightly different Steve Rogers from a slightly different universe. Not going to happen. Listen, I do think it's going to happen. I've said right from the get, we will see Chris Evans and we will see Robert Downey Jr. back at some point. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know when, and I don't know to what extent. But I do believe we'll see them make a return at some point. I think you have to. At this point, I think it has to becoming clear to Kevin Feige and Marvel that, like, hey, we lost our big guys kind of all at once there, huh? Like, we just threw everyone out with the dishwater.
Ill-advised.
So, anyways, Carl, what do you think of Chris's comments here? Would you want Captain America to come back at some point? And do you think that that's something that would happen?
Man, the MCU is such a mess. Just talking about this, like, we don't have, this isn't video recorded, so you ask me that question, and I'm literally like rubbing my hand over my face aggressively, trying to this seems like definitely a good move, because you're bringing back a solid actor to a character they played extremely well, who is immensely important to Marvel canon and the MCU, but at the same time, you've got to do it through such weird shenanigans that, like, is it even worth it? It just makes me think, yes, bring him back. It's needed. Shoot. No, don't. It'll just make a bigger mess of things. Like, I am so exhausted with the state of the MCU.
Yeah. You know, Loki's only going to make it worse, right? Loki will either fix everything or just render it unsavable.
Yeah. Loki's like the only thing that can fix it. Oh, man.
Well, because Loki's a big part of the confusion, right? Like, Loki's lended so much to what the hell is going on.
Yeah, the multiverse hasn't helped, but if you like take all the other shows that have been added in here since the Infinity Saga wrapped up, if you could just cherry pick some of them, Marvel would be in a great place if you threw out the rest. Like, if you threw out Eternals, that would make the MCU feel a little bit more cohesive. I would throw out She-Hulk. I would throw out Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Like, you could easily cherry pick through. I think I would leave in Secret War, or the Skrull. Secret War was the Skrull invasion.
Secret Invasion.
Like, because I think that dealt with some of the complexities of the snap, which I've said it before, I'll say it again. That in itself should have been a storyline, and it's just been touched on or glossed over or completely ignored in everything we've gotten.
Right.
Spider-Man's touched on it. Secret Invasion touched on it. Ant-Man kind of touched on it, but like Eternals completely glossed over it pretty much. She-Hulk pretty much glossed over it. Oh man, like, I don't even know where to go and how to talk about the MCU when we start talking about this could potentially happen. Like, Chris Evans could come back. It's like, where's this conversation really going, and how do I even approach it? The MCU is just in such shambles, it feels like, once you start digging into the weeds.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Okay. Well, that's the news. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. All listed down below. Patreon. We have a Patreon page. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the show and get some fun perks in return. And we have merch.
Yes, we have coffee mugs. So you can get your Java.
Well, you can put tea in it.
You can take it everywhere.
You put milk
or hot water.
Really, if you're gonna dip
water,
if you're gonna dip cookies in milk, a mug is a great way to go, right? Because it's wide and not too deep. You know? Or am I out to lunch? Is that just something from my childhood that everyone else didn't do? Was use a mug for their milk when they're dipping cookies in it.
Oh, we have camper mugs. We got metal mugs.
Yeah, go camping.
Yeah, take us with you.
You just went camping
for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, not camping, cabin.
And you didn't even take a mug.
No, I didn't.
No,
there's mugs already there.
What the hell? Yeah, but not mugs that advertise. What are you doing?
Not taking a Movie Man mug, apparently.
We got cool trucker hats.
Yeah.
Are trucker hats still a thing?
Trucker hat?
People still, it's part of the fashion now. You know, we got bucket hats.
That's
We got
definitely
that.
not a thing anymore. I don't think I've seen a bucket hat on anybody in ages.
We've got a cadet cap.
Is that still a thing? I don't know if I've seen. Maybe I have. I don't know.
It is if you buy one.
Bucket
and wear
hat
one.
is definitely like a '90s thing. People, it's like a NSYNC boy band thing. A bucket hat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's bring it back. We're gonna bring it back, and we have pillows that you can rest your hatted head on. That is hydrated because you also drink. Anyways, until next week.
Stay classy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.